Hello, everybody. Pardon me while I get settled in here. Someday I'll stop doing these surprise jump on last minute kind of live streams and actually schedule something in advance so that there's some advanced warning. But of course, also part of this is just to be able to create my content on the fly. Um, so it's wonderful to have an audience when you're doing a live. So if the community can engage as it happens, but also to um, to just make things and know that there's always the playback option is also one of the reasons why I'm doing things this way nowadays. So wasn't able to watch the playback. Speaking of live things, we haven't watched the playback yet, uh, but or she had a nice gathering on her channel earlier today, and I got to catch the end of that. Something going on with YouTube notifications these days. I'm not sure why I wasn't notified of that, but I definitely have subscribed and clicked the bell for Orshi's content. So I was glad to be able to at least catch a little bit of that. So it was quite nice. So, a few reasons for hopping on today. Um, Made a little trip to my local esoteric shop, uh, and I got I was getting some gifts for some folks for the holiday season, and also gathered a few extra goodies for myself as well. So that was kind of fun. So I have a few things to share there. One of which is a new deck that came out this year that it just caught my eye. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it, but I see that it was released in 2022, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it yet. Um, so, and she's in. How are you doing, Hershey? Doing great today. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I have a few things to show and to share, um, and then also something that I would like to introduce to the community as a concept. So far, I haven't seen this happen in the tarot community, but I've seen it in other YouTube communities, other um, general areas, including my workplace. But it's mostly used as a work tool, but it's a really fun way to engage with the community, and that is Slack. Um, for those of you who are not familiar, Slack is basically um, a, a messaging system that is really well organized, really well thought out, and can definitely help to um, get news out about different things, to build community, to have neat little subcategories that people, that have specific interests, maybe in the tarot community that makes me think of different systems. If there can be these sub channels. So people that are interested in RWS, or maybe they're interested in Marseille and specifically, um, you know, editions that come out that are reimagined and different, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm going to go into Slack, and the idea is I have created a channel, Slack community called Tarot Tube Enclave, and the way you get into Slack is usually by invitation. So um, one thing we can do there is right away I can show you. Email me, or I believe I have a contact section on my website that you can go to as well. But if you email me, um, let me just give a try at something here. I want to see if I can pull up. Pardon my my awkward reaching. I have to get to my keyboard here, which is kind of a bit of a stretch away from me. Um, but if you send me an email, blushingyourtarot@gmail.com, let me know that you're interested in joining the Slack channel. Um, and so, yeah, I apologize. I'm just trying to pull up my site because I want to see if I can show you where you can put this information as well. Uh, For some reason, it is arguing with me at the moment, so apologies. Anyway, what we'll do, uh, again, the whole point is, to be able to get, it's a different avenue for all of us to connect. And what prompted this for me is there's often, I often am looking for, a nice way to just have a lightweight engagement with everybody in TarotTube. People that watch the content, people that create the content, um, on all different levels. If I feel like if we had this nice little hub on the side where we could post interesting things, post links, um, talk about each other's content. Maybe if you're a content creator, and let's say if I'm going to be doing the live, and I'd like for some people to join me, um, and for let's say some readings or something. We can post something in this channel, and then everyone who's a member will know about it. And if they're interested in joining in, it's like a nice quick way to announce some stuff that's coming up and things like that. So let me try to share this real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Last time I tried to do a screen share, it did this crazy blink thing. So hopefully that won't be the case this time. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to go full in here so you can see. Um, all right. So this is the bare bones Slack, channel, what it looks like. If you are just coming into Slack for the first time, there's channels here on in this pane on the left-hand side. You can, you can basically favorite channels by starring them. So, if you click star channel, it'll go into the starred section up here. So that way, anytime there's an announcement on that channel or anybody puts content on it, it'll automatically pop up and notify you. Uh, and you'll see here that, and I apologize, Gerald. Have been invited, and I did talk to you about this briefly on the side. But Gerald is not endorsing this in any way or anything. Just in fairness, he had just found out about it, and but I asked him if I could send him an invite, and he said yes. So I did. And when you do that, when you send an invite to somebody, it automatically creates a space for them in the channel. So that's why you see Tarot Stash here. Um, and so anyway, no official members yet, but here we are. So here I have I've created a couple of channels. One of the channels is upcoming events. So you can see here that there's a channel description, and you can check this out. If you decide you want to participate and join in, but you can post pictures, you can post files, you can make announcements by to everyone by doing things like at here or at channel, and it'll make sure that everyone knows that this announcement's been made with a notification if they don't have it starred or what have you. So, but all the different users will show up here. You can send direct messages to users, but one of the other things I like is that you can also set up specific channels, and you can set different privileges on those channels. So let's say there are content creators that are doing something that's kind of special, and they need a way to communicate about it easily and share files and all that sort of thing, but they don't want to spoil it for the community. A neat way to do that is basically to create a locked channel or a private channel, and then they can do whatever they need to do there to get ready for their event, and don't have to worry about things being shared yet before they're ready. So that's one example of what a private channel can do for creators here. But the cool thing is, you just basically you can come in, come out, do whatever you like with it. It's not like a full blown social media. So you're not, this isn't one of those things that's selling advertising. It's not trying to get every bit of data from the users or anything. This is strictly, in fact, this is it's a free system. There's a free entry level um, Slack type of account, and that's what I have. That's what I've set this up on. But if it gets enough engagement, if people are really interested in this and we wanna take it to the next level, I will pay for, an account, specifically for the Tarot Tube Enclave that will enable us to do a little bit more, and just give us some additional features and functionality. So, um, this is something I'm pretty excited about. I think it has a lot of promise, a lot of good potential for us, as a community to get in touch and great. And Hershey's already on. Already sent an email for an invite, so I'll get that right out to you. I'm going to try and be as quick as possible with those as they come in. I'm really excited for people to start engaging. So by all means, please send me those emails, and we'll get the invites sent. So Hershey, I'll send that one to you as soon as we're wrapped up here. So okay, so that's Slack. I think very cool. I'm very excited to start doing more with. And what I'd like to do, initially is kinda get everybody's feel, as they join, as they hop on, we can all be creators in there, so, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of restrictions necessarily on who would create, sub-channels within that, but importantly, we want it to be a safe, community as well, so that's one of the reasons why, Slack is an invite-only thing, so it's not gonna be something that bots can jump into, or there will be some gatekeeping there. So I'll do my best to make sure that we keep it safe for everyone, and that's really easy to do in this as well. So it's more difficult in things like Facebook and other places like that. Um, so I think here we have a lot of good people in the tarot tube community, and it's not very big. So I think it's easy to keep it in check. But I'll also probably be reaching out to a few people if they have any interest in helping to moderate somehow, and keep things under control. So there you go. That's Slack. I think that'll be quite a fun thing to do. And yep, my pleasure. Again, I'm really excited to get this going for people because I use it at work, and it's really amazing there. It just has enabled us to do so much more. Um, and the quick communications. It's basically taken us out of the email realm in a lot of ways. It's super handy. I really really like it. Um, so let's see, what else did we have here? So the deck that I got, I don't know anything about this, um, so bear with me, as I experience this anew with you. Let me put my other screen up here. Let's see. Um, well, I want it to be small, but yeah, let's do that. Swap them around. Okay, so it's called Medieval Mischief Tarot. Um, it's by Ricardo Gil Ferraro. It's a U.S. Games deck published in, sorry, we'll get it there, 2022, and it was $26 US. And to be honest, I don't know if that's super accurate, maybe for out there somewhere. But I got this at the local esoteric shop, a small shop. I think sometimes is a little bit over retail or over what you would pay at Amazon or something like that. But I always am a fan of trying to support the local shops, especially this place is incredible. I mean, just everything you could ever want. And I'll go over some of the stuff I picked up there today. Um, they've expanded their tarot selection a little bit in the last several months. It had been a while since I was there. The last time I was there over the summer, I think, um, it was still sort of a small selection, just some um, a lot of mass market decks, things like that, and just not a ton to choose from, but still a nice place. And then everything else they have there really made up for. for any shortcomings in the tarot realm. But now they've expanded that. They have some more decks. So anyway, they had two copies of this, and it was new to me, and I thought, let's see what it's all about. If I'm picking up some stuff and I'm doing some things, why not just check it out? I was intrigued by the artwork. The description on the back, with a fascination for the Middle Ages, Italian designer Riccardo Gilferraro has created a thoroughly original deck with a modern medieval aesthetic. Um, so it basically, I understand that Riccardo Gilferraro is an artist um, that has been studying tarot and basically worked with found a home within U.S. Games to be able to publish this work. So and I think I think I don't know if it's going to be a very in-depth walkthrough, but I'm happy to flip through the cards. These are small cards. Let me pull a standard. Let's get an RWS down here. Oh, this might be the sealed one. I don't know if that's going to help. No. Okay. So here's our standard RWS. Still have the plastic on this. I need to take that off. But for size comparison, it's it's a mini deck essentially, uh, quite a bit smaller than standard tarot. So, uh, okay. So yeah, let's open it up and flip through. And I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but it was new to me. I had not seen it anywhere. So uh, go back up there, deck. Okay. So nice little book. Um, it is 58 pages. Nice little legend of symbols back here for anybody that wouldn't necessarily recognize them. It's nice of them to have that. So some neat little divisions here in color. I believe the deck is black and white. So black and white images in the book to be expected. Um, so yeah, we have full page descriptions for the majors. And then for the minors, we go to very small sections, just some keywords. And then using the cards, medieval mischief spread. That's fun. New spread. I like it when creators put spreads out that are specific to their deck. That's pretty fun. Okay, so um, yeah, some nice information up front, some background talking about the artist and their inspirations. So that's fun. It's a nice two-part cardboard box. It's sturdy, good presentation there. I'm curious about the card stock on this to see what we're getting compared to you know other U.S. Games stuff. Although it's been a while since I've purchased a U.S. Games product. I can't think of what the last one would have been. Bear with me a second here. What is stubborn plastic on the outside of this? Okay, well protected. Looks like we have a few more folks join in, so I appreciate you hopping on with me today. Again, just going over some things I picked up, a new deck, new to me anyway, new to the world as of 2022. Some interesting backs here. They appear to be fully reversible. Yeah, and the card stock's fine. Uh, Nothing remarkable, but seems nice enough. Um, all right, so we have our title card. Yeah, so it is a black and white deck. Set it down here. We can do a quick little flip. I do like, I love the art style in the way that it's sort of like it has that detail that's almost like stitching around everything. So there's almost like this ragdoll thing going on, but also um, a nod to Marseille in, in the styling here, which I believe you mentioned maybe it was on the back or um, in the book. And I will say too, obviously, I'm seeing this for the first time. I haven't watched any walkthroughs, so I apologize. I'm not familiar with these images, but I didn't gather that there was a whole lot in here that would be any any more troubling or per se than a lot of other decks that are out there. So um, pretty interesting stuff. So again, some nods to Marseille. We also have some directionality with like we see. So here we're looking to the left and um, oh yeah, this is great. I love the characters. I believe they do refer. Let me pull this up real quick here in the book. So they use yeah, so they do use Pope. Um, so that's so my brother saw this while on an out of state um, out of state job. Yes, I see that, and asked me if I wanted it. I said no at the time, but looking at it now, and it's screaming at me, "Look again." I should have just said yes. Yeah, it's and luckily, being U.S. games, it should be pretty widely available. I think pretty easy to get a hold of. But this is it almost has like a Tim Burton kind of feel to it, with these cards and, this style, which I really like, but there's also really interesting little things going on here in the artwork that I think you could you could really delve into. Um, Very interesting stuff. So I'm glad I picked this up. I think this is a fun little twist on things that it warrants some additional study. I'd like to know what everybody else thinks too. And maybe if you have this deck, is it something you've um, worked with? And if how do you find it? What's working for you? What isn't working for you? Is there anything specific about this that because it's a pretty unique deck. We occasionally run into some unique interpretations. But what's difficult is a lot of times you run into uniqueness that feels like it's a bit of a stretch, like it's only being unique for uniqueness sake rather than truly being something that an artist really curated, I guess, is a way to put it. Um, hmm, like that death card. So anyway, very interesting stuff. This has I think a decent amount of potential. I think this is a fun look and a fun interpretation. I'll flip a little faster so we can make our way through. Simon did his annual Christmas live with Jonah over yesterday, and I often will do my. That'll be the time when I check my card for the upcoming year, and this isn't a moon year for me coming up. Um, so that plays into also something else I picked up at the shop. But I'll be paying a lot more attention to the moon and different interpretations of the card, different ways that artists depict it, and what their own meanings were, and things like that. So, um, yeah, black and white. It looks hand drawn. It does. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a really interesting. I think it's really interesting and worth looking at. Um, I'm curious to know why they selected a small format for the deck. That would be maybe there's something about that in the book, but I'm not sure if that'll be the case because the book is pretty small, so I'm not sure if we're gonna get a whole lot of story there from the artist on choices. But, here we go into the wands. So, we have our ace. I really like that. That's that's quite nice. Let me hold it up a little bit so you can see some more detail there. I love the line work for the shading. So this is also it appears to be fully illustrated, not just pips. So interesting there as well. So, all right. So that is, let's see. Let's just take a quick look. So we have the cups. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting deck. I will leave it there. And if at some point you'd really like to see like a full walkthrough, maybe we can just at some point pop it up on the channel um, and do some readings with it or something. But that is the Medieval Mischief Tarot. Not disappointed that I picked that up. I think that's interesting. So that's the new deck. So I also to find a spot for it on my shelf. But so I also picked up some other fun things. So I mentioned the Moon card as my card of the year, um, and recently, actually, Hersey, you were talking about, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you were talking about candle magic recently, right? And we were maybe even during my last live, I think is maybe when that came up. Um, so I it's been on my mind, and I was thinking, I know I've seen some of these, pre-made, um, spell candles, things like that. So here I am at the shop, and they have this giant row of candles, uh, with, themed for each of the majors, and they're not cheap. They're from a company called Magic Fairy Candle. MagicFairyCandles.com is their website, but this is $36.36. Interesting pricing there. But this is the moon candle, and yes, it was. Yep, I thought that was the case. And so again, this is not me creating my own, but uh, I thought this was really fun. Um, and inside, this is the fascinating part. Not only does it smell amazing, but check this out. So you get this little moon folder here, or little pamphlet. It talks about it has a little meditation in it. Pay attention to the moon. Notice the reflection of your own mood as it rises with your eyes to the night sky. The moon has something to say to you about how you live. What is it? So, some notes here: black pepper, orange, and patchouli. That's the scent in the candle. It has a cotton wick, GMM free soy wax, organic coconut oil, and then a blend of organic oils, botanicals, and mica. So these do have crystals in them and of different types. So this one obviously has the mica, as it said. See if we can get it to focus a little bit there, but you can see just kind of a rich blend of botanical components there, and it smells amazing. So I thought, why not? That could, add some kind of an interesting thing for me meditating on 2023 being a moon year for me. Um, so, yep. Since I'm a moon child, that's the one I want. Yep. They really are gorgeous, and I'm anxious to burn it. And it has some instructions there. It tells you one of the things I liked is it mentioned that there will be crystals in some of these. This one has the mica, and it said if the crystal it's going to float around as it burns in the Max Welts. Pardon me. Maybe it's time for a sip. The wax melts. That's going to move around, and if it starts to interfere with the nice burning of the candle, then take it out and use it um, in other ways for other magic or anything else you might be doing. So, shall we light it? I think we should. There's no time like the present. I don't have anything to trim the wick down right now, and I know you're supposed to do that when you first light a candle. So, apologies. I'm going to break the rules Let's hope I don't break my camera as I try and light this too. So, and one thing, I don't know, so a trick that I learned, something I heard, from, there's a candle company actually that's not too far away from my house, and they're really good at what they do, and it's quite a place. Well, they do some candle education, and one of the things that they talk about and actually mentioned it in this candle, and it's probably common knowledge for most people. I just, years ago I didn't know this, but I did eventually learn is that when you're lighting a new candle for the first time, light it and let it burn all the way to the edges. Let the the wax melt. I don't know what my problem is, um, all the way to the edges, and that way you'll get a consistent melt all the way down. Whereas if I were to blow this out after, if the wax would go to, say, just about here, and then I would blow it out, that's what would melt and burn every time. So you get this tunneling effect down through the middle of the candle, and then you'd never get the full benefit. You wouldn't get all of the full burn out of it. So, um, interesting stuff. Anyway, I think so. So yeah, so I'm gonna let that do its thing over here in the corner, and it's delightful. Smells incredible. So, what else did I get? I got a book. In fact, I am gonna have to move this because if I don't, I'm gonna catch my book on fire. Um, Tarot by Numbers, fun, reflective little thing here. Absolutely, I'd say that's what we're here for, but it's really not. It's just a fun little tidbit to share. So, yeah, I think it really has helped me because I some candles are very obviously this is an expensive candle. This is not, this is me treating myself after a very difficult few months and year and whatever. And, I'm just like, I just out having fun today. Uh, but, you spend that much on a candle and it's an investment. And this is also, this is, this has intention behind it. This is a magical candle. I wanna respect that by using it in the best way I know how, and thank goodness I learned that little trick years ago to actually get the most out of it, so, by Liz Dean, the center here is hard to read, but I'll read it. It just says, "Learn the codes that unlock the meaning of the cards." So, tarot by numbers. Uh, why did I get this? I think this is a really interesting way. I've always been drawn to, and this is one of the reasons why I think I like the Marseille system as well. I mean, I kinda probably split 50/50, US, Marseille, whatever, the case may be. Um, but, I do like the way that the numbers can sort of build a simple framework for for the cards. And they talk about that in this book to great extent, going into these color spreads that talk about the importance of the um, different locations of the cards and then the numbers of the cards themselves and how that all plays together, and can incorporate into what they claim in this book is a great way to learn tarot in general. So it geared toward, beginners, but, I think I don't know, I always feel like I'm a beginner. I think in a lot of ways I am. I think keeping that mindset helps to keep my mind open for learning. So, um, interesting stuff. I did see one thing in here that, yeah, this little statement in the front. Now I haven't read through much of this at all, but a curious calculation. Sir Cyril Pearson, 1866 to 1921, writing under the pseudonym Professor P.R.S. Foley. I really like that. I want to dig into that a little bit more, find out why they chose that. Published what he termed a curious calculation for playing cards in his 1915 book Fortune Telling by Cards. By adding up the quantity of cards and suit symbols, and by giving each court card the number value of 10, He arrived at 365, the number of days in a year. We can take a similar approach with tarot. And if you are a beginner, this may help you recall the structure of the deck. And then a little example down here for tarot specifically is add the numbers on the major arcana cards 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on up to 21. Total of major arcana numbers 231. Number of minor arcana cards 56. Number of cards in the deck 78. Total 365. So interesting. I've heard little things like that before, and I just it's fun to learn about those connections and think about how that came to be and, just who discovered it. So, Tarot by Numbers by Liz Dean. This was $28. So, um, published this year. This is, again, if I didn't mention that, this is 2022. So, um, by Quarto Publishing Group, USA. Hi, Early Ritual. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate you stopping by. I'm going through just some things I picked up today, including a new deck called Medieval Mischief. So I flipped through that a little bit. It's a little black and white deck that has some really interesting artwork. Um, Thought it was kind of a fun one there. Yep, and I got a book and I got a spell candle. It is a tarot themed. I don't want to tip it too much because I'm going to spell, but it is a moon card spell candle, which I'm very excited by. There you go. You can see a little bit of the cover there. So the upcoming year for me is a moon year. So I'm very interested in all things moon right now. Okay, so what else? I also got, if any of you watched Gerald's wonderful uh, live the other day on Bay Magic, I at the same store today picked up a sage bundle that has bay all through it, just tons of bay in there. And of course, if any of you saw how aggressively bay burns when Gerald lit his leaf, and how he says he holds it with tweezers for safety, it's a wise move because it does pop and burn very quickly. Well, I also got a cauldron, and this is just a nice plain heavy cast iron cauldron. I hadn't had one before, so I was using a soapstone vessel in the past. So decided to finally go ahead and pick one of these up. But these sage bundles in that store, it's amazing. They have this huge wall of sage bundles of all sorts. So every kind of combination you can imagine. I have one. I don't know if I can reach it from where I am now, but I have one that I picked up there that has um, it has some dried flowers incorporated in it. So they just have it's just a huge menu of options there, and very very cool. Really really enjoy that. Lots of different things, lots of different crystals, lots of different fun stuff there. So um, yeah. So what else? I got a couple of fun things. Um, I got something. I got a couple of gifts. One is a special bath bomb. This is a winter bath bomb. They had all kinds of different options, but it has, I believe, a crystal in it. It's so cool. And it's magicberrycandles.com again. So it's the same company that did the moon candle. Um, they also make these bath bombs, and they are not cheap. This is like $12 or something, but it's a gift for someone who I know loves bath bombs, and I think will really enjoy this one. So lots of fun there. Also a gift. Um, got this beautiful piece of abalone shell that's fit into a silver pendant, uh, so that can go on a chain. And I can't tell you who that's for because she might be watching, or at least um, maybe could overhear me even in the house. So, um, So we'll keep that quiet. But yeah, I picked up a few gifts while I was there doing some shopping. So yeah, it is very cool. And so yeah, protection candle. Oh, okay, yeah, very cool. Yeah. So, so that's some fun stuff. Um, and early ritual, just want to mention again because I started the live stream talking about um, a Slack channel that I started. I'm gonna let's drop this camera here real quick. Uh, and the whole idea of this um, if you haven't heard of Slack, Slack is a it's sort of a messaging platform for groups. It was designed for workplaces, but it doesn't have to stay in that realm. It's what I'd like to do. So I started this channel called TerraTube Enclave on Slack, and if you're interested, if anybody's interested in joining in, just send an email to me. Uh, you can email me blushingnerdtarot at gmail.com and tell me you're interested in joining the Slack community, and I'll send that invite out to you. Hershey, I have yours coming shortly, as I mentioned. And the whole idea is, yeah, and yeah, used to use Slack for work before I went to Teams. Yeah, a lot of people use Teams as well. What I like about Slack is it's very friendly for this type of use as well. Um, so not just for the workplace, but what we can do as a community is we can post all kinds of fun things here. We can just chat. We can have group chats. That's what the main focus is, where you can just kind of hop in and maybe on specific topics, we can all sort of engage and talk about things that are coming up. You can, I mean, I could see this as being a place where we could even have a readings channel if people want to request readings. And if people want to give readings, sure, why not? Let's have, you could go to, you can go to my channel, Blushing Nerd Tarot. It's on the, you'll see it there listed on the side. You could go in there, or maybe I'll set up even a separate readings channel or something. But all those channels will be available to all the users. Uh, we can have any number of really interesting things going on here. And I think what I'd like to do, the whole point of this is, um, I definitely want to, I wanted to find a way to engage with people more than just during videos, and I think this offers everybody kind of a nice place to go, a little hub for our group. This tarot community is not huge, and it has some really amazing people. And I find that I just like to spend more time with everybody out there. And I think this is a little more free too, in the sense that if somebody doesn't have time to put up a video, if they're a creator, content creator, and they're very busy in their lives at the moment, don't really have time to jump in and create a lot of content, they can still hop into a place like this and engage with the people that really enjoy watching their stuff, and it's just a nice lightweight way to connect. And so I'm pretty excited about it, and I hope we can grow that. And I did mention too, Tarot Stash is listed on the side here. You may see Gerald knows about this. And great. I'm very glad. I will get right back to that as soon as we're done here. I'm going to be responding to the emails, and then as they come in, I'm going to try to get on it as quickly as possible, because this won't do a whole lot of good if I'm not getting people into the channel. So we definitely want to grow the community. But again, I mentioned it to Gerald just before going live, just to see if he was interested and if he's okay with me sending him an invite. And he was okay with sending the invite, but he hasn't seen any of this yet. He's not familiar with Slack. So having his name there, I just feel it's important to point out he's not endorsing this channel. He's not. He hasn't done anything specific. He's only there because I needed to send an invite to somebody as I was getting this started, and I really wanted, I hope that he will enjoy being a part of this too, and I look forward to his participation. So that's why you see that there. So Slack. So I think that could be really fun. Pardon my sippage. So I think um, I think that about covers it, except for one thing that I tried to point out last time that that and I had some screen glitches, so it was a little, difficult to show you exactly what I was talking about. This podcast, In Search of Tarot. This is and I've listened to a couple more episodes now since, since I talked last about this. This is an incredible resource. I can't say enough about how amazing the content is on this. The interviews, the topics, everything about it has just been so enjoyable. They really dive deep on topics, that are challenging. I get challenging is not the right word, because it's not like a trigger warning kind of scenario. I guess it's just a very intellectual topics, and I really enjoy the approach and the nature of these interviews. It really today, as I was listening, out running my errands, I, I was just constantly in my mind thinking, "Oh, I need to remember that. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this again. Oh, I need to take notes." I'm talking to Siri and dictating some things that it's making me think about, and it just yeah, it's so good. It is so good, and, um, obviously, there's a lot of content there that I haven't listened to. I think they have 69 episodes, and I've listened to 4 or 5, but so far, if that's any indication, I think that's a pretty decent, amount of, episodes to get an idea of what their content is like. Um, and I was constantly, writing notes and trying to get things down so that I don't forget what I've heard and what I'm listening to because it and I go back and listen because there are some that just boy just hit the nail on the head and it is very good. And I didn't want to let this go without being able to show you again, where you can find it. So I did hear that it is on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify. So at least those two places I know are options for you if you'd like to check it out. And I definitely recommend it. They do have a Patreon for support as well. And so just to mention that, but very, very good content. I am super excited to continue listening. Always looking for more podcast content and some good. Hey, oh, and hi. So glad you could join in. Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it's not like I give a lot of people notice on these. It's not. I've been a little bit inconsiderate that way, just because I've been trying to fit these in when it works for me, just because I wanted to get back into the routine of making content. And one of the consequences of that is that I don't give a lot of notice because I'm not putting a whole lot of planning into it. I just I happen upon some extra time and I jump in and here we go. So um oh here we go. Tarot diagnosis. Okay. That's good to know too. I will absolutely check that out. Now this brings up another point. Okay. Um, and thank you. I really appreciate that. So, so you pointed out another one. So here I am talking about a podcast. You're talking about a podcast. Okay. And Ange, you weren't here for the early part of this. So apologies. Hershey early ritual. I'm gonna go through it just quickly one more time. And here's what we're talking about. I am starting a Slack channel. I don't know if you're familiar with Slack, but to go over it quickly again, it is not a social media platform. It is strictly a communications platform that is sort of lightweight and that it's chat oriented or postings oriented, where you just people can kind of engage. So I'm starting one for us, for our little part of the world. TarotTube Enclave is the name of it. Let me share my screen again so you can see what I'm talking about. Um, and if you've never heard of Slack, it's very common now in workplaces. I found out about it through work. I use it every day there constantly. Um, it's so good that I don't mind that I use it every day, all day for work. And I'm now starting a hustle on Slack outside of work for us as a community. So send me an email, um, and it's, blushingnerdtarot@gmail.com, and, um, send me an email and just let me know that you wanna join the Slack if you're interested. And what we do here is so the reason this came up again, I wanted to talk about it now is because mentioning these podcasts, we can have a channel on here, that is podcast recommendations, and anybody can come in, and if they hear a great podcast, pop it in the channel. Let everybody know. Put links there. You can do links. You can do media, like I did here with my little snapshot for today's live. That sort of thing. All sorts of stuff we can do there, and I'm super excited to get using it, to try it out, to see if everybody um, enjoys it as much as I do. So that's Slack. So I think we can definitely. Um, I think I think it's a good way to expand our ability as a community to just get together and talk, and you know, just have that additional area. The nice thing too is that it's all logged in one place. So let's say we do let's say we do reading announcements there. That is sort of all then archived there. If we do, channel events, if somebody's having a special event on their channel, they're getting several creators together, that'll be logged there. So it's one place that everybody can go to get all of that information. Same with the podcast. If, "Oh, I can't remember that podcast so and so was talking about on their live," well, go there, and if we're all active in this and we log that stuff from this channel, it's one place to go for all of us to kinda gain access to the same information rather than having to remember, "Okay, now whose channel was it that I heard that on?" And, trying to go back and find the right episode to listen to, and maybe it's not in their show notes, maybe they're bad at putting things in notes like I am for, uh, putting things in the notes for each video. So, this can kinda solve that problem in some ways. So, lots of neat things to do there. We could have a card of the day channel. I don't know. We could have 2 different card of the day channels, one for RWS, one for Marseille. We could do, an Oracle channel. We can do all kinds of neat things there, and I think there's really, some good options. So, excited to do that, and please let me know if you'd like to join. Everybody that watches the replay on this, do the same. Send me an email. I am gonna try real quick here one more time to see if I can pardon my weird reaching again here, but I'm gonna see if I can I wanna pull up my website if possible, because I think I have a contact area there, where you should be able to, in theory, submit this is not what I'm trying to get to. Please excuse my jumping around here. Well, you'd think by now I would know how to at least get around on YouTube, but apparently maybe they changed this format. I don't recognize what's going on here, but, um, well, anyway, um, I do think, yep, I'll have to look for it some other time maybe. Oh, here we go. Let's try that and that. There we go. That's why it didn't come up before. Okay, so let's share again. Alright, here's my website, and if you go to contact at the top, it's gonna give you just this one simple page contact area, okay? So it's blushingnerd.com/contact, or just go to blushingnerd.com. That'll take you, you can just click on contact in the middle and fill that out. Let me know you wanna join Slack, and, we'll go from there. So, alright, we're coming up on an hour. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Much appreciated. This is why it's great to have moderators, and I need to add some more. So, thank you very much, Ange. Appreciate it. Um, so, I think we will um, we will wrap it up there. Oh, yeah, you can, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can go to the website if you'd like. Just it's, blushingnerd.com. It drops the tarot, but, I also have a link to that in my YouTube channel. Um, so, and then what we can do is, I will also I'll try to, maybe put a little bit of information about the Slack. I'll see if there's a way I can link that, um, and yeah, that's perfect. That works too. Um, and then I'll see if there's some way we can link it maybe from my channel so people can find it that way as well. But I think, as I was saying earlier, it's nice because this is going to be, there's some easy gatekeeping here because this is, people have to send me a request to be able to join the channel. And we will try to get some moderation in there as well. Uh, and yeah, absolutely. That's it's really I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm very excited about it, and I appreciate you hopping on and joining in and sending me your requests because I'll get on those right away. Um, but I think that's the thing. The moderation piece of it is gonna be rather simple because people can't just jump into it. You have to. It's all by invite. Um, so we have that level of control, and um, also once we're in there, um, we as a community can, um yeah, nice not to have another Discord. Yeah, true. My son, knows all about Discord and does some stuff there. I I I don't know I just don't know all that much about it. I agree. I can't do Discord either. I don't know what it is about that environment that's just difficult for me to grab onto. Um, Whereas Slack, it seems to flow real easy for me. It's just, and I know I use it at work all the time, but of course, there's a reason why it's such a successful platform. It's very well designed. There's just um, so much ease of use and also depth if you want to engage at a different level, to make it, you know, you can add forms and you can do all kinds of neat things with design. So, and I think you're probably right. I think there is something about, an age divide there. There's, I think, a lot of younger folks that, um, were almost indoctrinated uh, into, and now Discord. It's already slipped my mind. Um, so yeah, definitely gamers. Discord was kind of built for them. So, and yeah, it is the same way for me. Just the setup, even I've been involved in trying to set up some Discord stuff for my son with him, and he was just flying through it like nothing. And I'm like, I don't even know what any of this stuff means. How do you set this up? It was kind of weird. So, oh, the other thing I got today, I just noticed it in my background, is this cool lamp. I have to get a dimmer on it so that you can actually see the glass. It's all stained glass. Um, and I just loved it. I've always wanted one of those. So, but in the camera, it kind of it blows it out because it's too bright. But I want to get a dimmer. Anyway, I digress. Slack within the channel, I was talking about moderation there. Within the channel, it's easy for us to do some self moderation. I think we'll be able to. Um, yes, thank you. Um, I think we'll be able to kind of watch out for each other, um, because if at some point somebody, does start posting things that we just don't feel are right for our vibe, we're a bunch of kind, loving people. Just the energy is always so positive in these chats and everything, and, so I would hate to see any of that, um, go astray, if something went on in there, but I really don't foresee that being a problem because I don't think anybody's gonna wanna join this thing that isn't already part of our community, or even if they're new to the community, they'll kinda get a sense after they watch the videos and stuff of who we are and what we're all about. So, anyway, I think it'll be a great thing for us. So, looking forward to engaging there, looking forward to seeing all of you there, and, we'll start give me some ideas, a channel idea you wanna add in. I don't think there are gonna be necessarily any restrictions in there in terms of who creates what. You should be able to create channels, um, as you join. So if you have something specific you wanna do, if you have a channel, so Ange, for your channel, if you wanna create a thread in there, by all means, go right ahead. That way you can make announcements if you're, doing something, that's, upcoming on your channel or whatever the case may be. By all means, take it and run with it. Um, that's half the battle there is that I think I really wanna see all those things in one place, and we can probably I think there's probably room for some, integration there. So if you put up a channel or I'm sorry, you put up a video, or you post that a video is coming or something on your YouTube channel, we might be able to get it so that they feed into this automatically. I know there's some integrations like that that can be done with Slack, so all you know, things to come. So we'll play around with that. I have some time coming up, off from work, so I'm hoping to be able to, work on some of this stuff, have a little bit more time. So anyway, it's been fun. I appreciate everybody that stopped by um, I'm really, um, you know, very excited to get started down this little path, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Happy to share some of the fun things I picked up today, and that new deck. We'll see. And I don't know if you've seen this one, Andrew, or if you saw um, the medieval mischief tarot, the new deck or new this year, 2022 from US Games. So I brought that up earlier, but that's I picked that up today. I had never seen it before, but just thought I'd check it out. And it's pretty interesting. So um, yeah. So um, let's see. Oh, and I did pre-order this. And what else? The African um, uh, tribal tarot that I brought up on Kickstarter the other day. I got that. Um, and yeah, it's an interesting deck. I need to do a full walkthrough, but it is pretty cool. Um, and it's black and white, but it's really interesting art style. Nice little twist. So, um, and are you referring to Artisan Tarot or are we talking about the lights, the lamp? Not sure, but um, yeah, I'm very active to do the Slack and to get started on all that. So, I think I will leave it there. We're a little over an hour, and I appreciate y'all jumping in. And it's been a fun way to spend a Sunday afternoon. We'll get those Slack updates or invites answered right away, and I'll see you all in there, and then hopefully again um, on here at some point in the near future. So, thanks a lot, and have a great evening. Take care.